We're talking with the Chief Minister on our Friday briefing, which will be played out over the weekend because we've got so many things. We had that chat the other day. Well, you made a press conference about the situation, and the world order just keeps on moving. You were second to jump, weren't you, I believe, in the order of events to sign up for this treaty?
I don't know whether there's a pecking order of who jumps. I think we need to look at the Isle of Man's long-term position on this. We gave a commitment to the United States last September. We gave a commitment to the United Kingdom in December to agree bilateral agreements on automatic exchange of information on tax matters. The debate, which is now becoming quite fierce, building up to the G8 meeting in June, is about extending that now into multilateral agreement, initially with 5 other countries, but that's rapidly expanding. I think it's already up to 10, and it's growing all the time. So this really isn't a question of the Isle of Man jumping first, second or third. This is a continuation of a strategy we've had in place certainly for over 12 months now to work with the international community to try and maintain confidence in the Isle of Man's financial services industry.
And we've done interviews with Pricewaterhouse and Boston, and I don't know if you had a chance to see them online, but it was interesting because, I mean, I was putting to them, is this the end of life as we know it in the finance sector? Both of them were quite positive in their own way, that the Isle of Man will survive, and you've obviously very positive on that. But at the same time, you did think some places will fail and come out of that sort of business. Well,
I think what you've got to look at actually isn't just the debate which is going on at the moment in relation to the multilateral agreement. There's hardly a week goes by now that the OECD, that the European Union, that the United States, the United Kingdom don't start introducing new demands, new regulations, whether it's to do with exchange of information, banking services, bank regulations, a whole raft of areas. And for some of the smaller financial services centres, they will struggle to be able to maintain that level of compliance. They have limited infrastructure to deal with it, and I believe in the long term they will struggle to survive as serious competitors. My absolute determination has been to, over 10, 12 years now, it's not something that's just happened, make sure that the Isle of Man is positioned in the best possible way to not only survive, but also to thrive as not as an offshore centre anymore. The old style tax haven is dead and buried, and those models need to be forgotten. What will evolve now, though, is a new, well-regulated, transparent form of jurisdiction which works as partners with the main economies, and that's where the Isle of Man will be.
Were we a tax haven then?
It depends what your interpretation of a tax haven is. There's never
you said the words, that's all.
Yeah, well, there's never been a definition of a tax haven. The Isle of Man obviously gets labelled as a tax haven because in the past the level of transparency perhaps was not as great as people are demanding today. And of course we have a low tax rate. In that context, perhaps it could be considered we were a tax haven. But we are moving away from that now, and those days are dead. We've got to recognise there's no going back to the old model. We have to develop and evolve into a new structure altogether.
Well, I know you saw my Richard Murphy interview. We're a 3, Jersey's a 9, and Switzerland's 10 on his sort of scale of tax havens. What do you make to Mr. Murphy's remarks?
Well, Mr. Murphy repeats these arguments on a very regular basis, and I don't think I'd really want to comment on anything more that Mr. Murphy has to say. The Isle of Man is doing what it believes is right. We are not being pushed by any other countries. We believe this has to be the direction of travel. We recognise the international debate which is going on. Mr. Murphy is simply a commentator on the developments as they take place, and I'm glad he acknowledges the progress that the Isle of Man has made.
But he has been a thorn in your side. I mean, ever since the VAT agreement was altered, he takes sort of a lot of credit for that, doesn't he?
Well, he takes a lot of credit for many things, but life goes on without it being necessarily directed by Mr. Murphy. And a great deal of work has gone on and is going on as we speak behind the scenes to make sure the Isle of Man is positioned in the correct manner to develop and grow in the future.
Finally, will we see more job losses in the finance sector on the Isle of Man because of your agreement that you had to sign or are signing?
It's difficult to say. I think we've got to recognise that there is a lot of restructuring going on within the financial services world internationally, not just in the Isle of Man. Banking is reviewing its models, obviously, because we've got Vickers coming up, which was a report on the restructuring of UK domestic banks. That may well have a major impact on us in the future. A lot of work is going on to try and position the Isle of Man again in the correct place on that. Many financial services, from CSPs right across the whole piece, are reviewing their role internationally.
And I want to put you on the spot, though. I mean, you must have a view one with the other. I mean, you think this is going to cause some losses of jobs?
It may cause, in the short term, some loss of jobs. But if we are proactive and position ourselves correctly, those jobs can be compensated for by new jobs coming in, because there will be a number of questions asked, I think, and amongst many companies now, whether they need to be based in so many different jurisdictions. At the moment, you have companies who are based in the Isle of Man, Jersey, Cayman, BVI, whatever. They may not need that.
Consolidation.
There will be consolidation across the piece.
And you're making, or doing your bit to make sure they pick the Isle of Man, I guess.
I believe the Isle of Man has the best structure. I think it is the most transparent, most cooperative, and has the most business-friendly environment for new business to come into, and that's where we intend to stay.